Hey, welcome to the tech capital of the world. This is Bobby Docio, founder of Coder Foundry. I am joined by Kevin Doyle, my ever-present producer. Hey, Kevin, how you doing?
I'm great. How you doing today?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Good, good.
Let me get centered up here so we can cover up Lando, the best poster in all of movie history. So
You're gonna start out that. Hold on. I just gotta put this up here real quick. So
yeah.
there we go. Just I guess I gotta have that thing like always ready to go these days. You can say something controversial about Star Wars, and we're just gonna get in
So
trouble.
have you heard though? Have you heard that that they might actually they've revived Amelia Clark's character in the
I
comics?
saw that. Yeah, yeah, in a comic. Yeah, yeah.
And the big rumor going around Star Wars, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean Kathleen Kennedy gets fired every week, and she's still there.
Right. Yeah.
But like they're
She's
saying that there is support for Solo too,
okay.
and they're
Okay.
trying to
So
we'll see what happens.
so another Ron Howard solo two or somebody else solo two?
They didn't. I don't think there's a director's attached, but
Okay.
apparently that they're coming around to the fact that what I've come around like when you watch the movie several years later, like
Yeah.
maybe this movie wasn't so bad. I mean, like it was
I've
kind
watched
of
it a
cool.
bunch of times and I still
Yeah, and
like it.
then
So
the other thing that I think is really, I don't know how we didn't even plan to get on Star Wars, but like
no.
there should be another Han Solo Lando movie, and that just needs to happen.
Well,
Like
the fact
Danny
that there
Glover
hasn't been a
should
Lando
go.
movie is kind of disturbing because this
I
character
mean,
is
but he
so
was so
good.
good though. Like you've got to bring those two guys back. The
Yeah.
whole frenemies,
Yep.
buddy cop, love hate relationship, whatever it
Yep.
is. Like
Yep.
who owns the Millennium Falcon? They both do. I don't know. It's shared
Right.
property. I don't know. So like, it's
Exactly. It's the
really good.
community
So,
do good spaceship. I don't know.
yeah. So like he gets it back, maybe Lando gets it back, and then
That would be
Han
cool.
Solo gets it back again. I don't know how it
Yeah,
works.
they could do
We
all
keep
kinds of
betting
things
for it.
there. The only way that it'll get made is if The Rock and what's his name? The Kevin,
The
what's his
Rock.
face? Kevin Hart joins on. That's
Yeah.
it seems to be like the two most popular actors in Hollywood. Like throw them in anything and it'll be massive.
Yeah. He just tweets about it. I'm down for Solo. The Rock.
Exactly. The
Yeah.
Rock is gonna have a part in it. Exactly. Speaking of, did you see that? There's a Disney movie coming out. I forget what it's called now. That has the Rock in it. It's like a
Oh, I haven't seen that.
it's
Yeah.
an adventure movie. I'm like, it's kind of
Okay.
like it
Cool.
looks like an Indiana Jonesy kind of
Jungle
like
Cruise.
National Treasures. Yeah, it's something like I think so. Yeah, it's based on the ride, right? It actually
Yeah,
looks
it's based on
good.
the ride. I'm
It
sure
actually
that'll do
looks
well.
good. It looks good. So I like that kind of movie, right? I like an
Yeah.
adventure
Exactly.
movie where it's like far fetched and just like
Right.
it doesn't really. It's not grounded in reality at all, really.
Right. Kind of like the
um,
movie Anaconda. It was based on a boat with a big snake.
yeah, yeah. Maybe it's better than that.
I hope so.
It has to be better than that.
I
It
don't think you
has to
can beat
be.
snakes on a plane, though. I mean, I don't think anything had ever beat that going down in movie history. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. So I haven't read the comic that she came back in. Is this the so Jens? Are you saying that the comic was the origin story for Chewie, which
Now, Solo
which
2,
is saying that Solo?
how Han and Chewie met, it was just, and like,
Okay, I guess yeah, but I mean, but he existed before that, though, right? So what did he do
yeah,
before that?
exactly. He
Do we
was,
know?
they got defeated by the Empire. So, like,
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
I like it.
We will do regular questions. One quick thing first, though. Does Coder Foundry offer an ISA in California? Yes, we do.
As
Just
far as I know, we can do it. So,
unless
I do
California is
know
brought
that.
in some weird rules that happens.
Well, I think the difference between us is that we're based in North Carolina, I believe. But if
Okay.
California
Yeah.
says we can't do it, then we have
Yeah.
to change our
As far
ISA
as we
contract.
know, we're in North Carolina. We can offer an ISA to somebody in
Yeah.
California,
Yep.
unless
As far
somebody
as we
tells
know.
us different. And they've been
So
told.
Lambda School, being the big one, had some problems in California, and they ended up just changing their ISA contract. And they called it something different.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
still
I haven't followed that at all,
basically the
really. I
same
saw
thing.
that was a thing, and then haven't really
But if we
followed it.
can't, I mean, if you can't, and we can't offer one, we'll find out. But like, if we can, we will. If not, there's always the cash option. There's a loan option. There's some other options that we have
Yep.
if you want to come here. So,
Yep. Man, my queue isn't working again today. That's annoying. Okay,
okay,
me too. I don't know why. We'll come to questions in a little bit. I'm not going to do that right now, but I will come to that question eventually.
all right, cool.
A couple things to talk about first. Oh, look at that! It's still doing it. It's on some weird delay. I maybe need to update the software or something. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Okay. Whatever. I'll look at that afterwards. Okay. A couple things to talk about first. It was WWDC yesterday. So
yeah, I know.
I watched some of this stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
no hardware.
Cool
yeah, no hardware. Tim Apple didn't get up there and give us a new Mac or anything, so that's kind of disappointing. But you know, I mean, we talked about every piece of software though. iOS 15, iPad OS 15, which apparently people were upset about because it didn't go far enough. They just added some features from iOS 14 on an iPhone. Interesting.
Right.
What else did we get? New Mac OS too. Mac OS Monterey, named after the cheese. Not named after the cheese.
My MacBook updated yesterday. I don't know if I'm on Monterey, but I have to go check it. But
nah, it's not. I don't know what the date is. I don't think it released yesterday. I don't think it did anyway. I think it's they'll have a date for it or whatever. But
so there's some interesting things. One thing I noticed is that you can now, with FaceTime, and I don't have an iPhone device, so I wear Android, but apparently with FaceTime now you can share your screen over FaceTime.
Yeah, they've pushed it so you can do it. Yeah, you can do it on a. Basically, they've pushed it to the web, is what they've done. So you can FaceTime with somebody who has an Android device or a web browser. Technically, another.
Oh, so now we can FaceTime.
We can now FaceTime. Yeah. Android. So the person on the Apple device basically sends them a link. They click on the link and it opens up in a website, and you can FaceTime across a website. Kind of interesting.
Okay.
When they talked about that section, they talked about a lot of stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm familiar with that because it felt like stuff from Teams. It felt like video conferencing stuff from Teams. They added like spatial audio to it, which was kind of an interesting thing. Where if you have multiple people on the screen, it was very much multi-person video chat focused.
Yeah. So the one I saw was like you could, for example, open up Netflix and group watch over because you could share your screen.
Yes.
And FaceTime and group watch something together.
Yep. The group watch features were very cool. Yeah. And you can have like group listening too. So across Apple Music, you can listen to the song.
Right.
That was kind of cool.
We could group watch Loki. It comes out Wednesday.
I saw that. Did you see the trailer? It looks good. Like,
yeah, it is good.
It looks good. It looks like it's going to be great. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be very cool. I still want to see the part where they explain Loki as DB Cooper, because I think that story is fascinating, and I think they explain it with him is just like the greatest thing ever. It's such like an inside joke.
I think they're gonna Forrest Gump this thing. I mean, I really think that's gonna be part of the joke.
Right. I think so too. I think he's gonna. Yeah. I think so too. He's gonna be the answer to a million unexplained things. It was all Loki the whole time. Yeah, that's interesting. The other interesting thing out of the thing yesterday was Swift Playgrounds on the iPad, where you can now develop an app on an iPad independent of a Mac and deploy it to the store. You can do everything on an iPad. Like, that's interesting.
It's kind of interesting. I'd have to see kind of what you can actually achieve at that,
right.
Okay, how much effort and like if you really like, is it?
Yeah, just because you can, Just because you can, is it a terrible user experience? Like, it could be.
Once you go beyond the basic case, does it like fall down and you need to like...
Right. It'd be interesting to test out though, for sure. So that's a coming feature. That's not something that's launched straight away. It's going to be, they just said coming in fall, I think they said, or something before the end of the year or something like that. There was a few things they said before the end of the year. Including one other thing that we talked about this morning that you said that you like too was the security stuff. So the rotating email was interesting.
Very simple solution to a complex problem. So when you sign up for the service, it will generate a fake email, but I guess what behind the scenes is going to keep up with those so that you'll get the answer from that fake email to your real email, and then you don't have to really publish your real email out there. Right. It's kind of like when you have these generated card numbers that they use. Credit card numbers. Credit card fraud. So like your real stuff is never in the wild. Yep. So I do like that.
Yeah, I like it too. I thought that was super cool. And then also as part of that too, they basically added a VPN, and I'm assuming it's some kind of seamless VPN. I don't think it's something you turn on and turn off. It's some kind of like it's an added security feature, and it looks like they've said it like doesn't add to latency or anything. I'm not sure if I'm buying that. Yeah. It's going through two different nodes, I guess. So they say even Apple doesn't know like what your traffic is. Like, okay, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I like it / don't. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it until I see it in practice.
Right.
And is it something you have to turn on and turn off, or is it just always there? If it's always
Yeah.
there and it doesn't make it any worse of an experience, then great. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to play with it a little bit. And that's part of like this
Right.
iCloud Plus thing. And again, they didn't mention anything about charges for
Pricing.
that, or no, they didn't mention pricing at all. Is it included in the one plan? I have the one plan where it comes with iCloud and music and all that stuff. Is it included in that? Is it not? They didn't mention anything about it. So
Right.
I'm guessing it's a feature they've built out, but they haven't quite thought about how they're selling it yet, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. But some interesting stuff.
Some interesting stuff. No hardware announcements, so we can't make fun of like some caster chrome wheels for $700.
No, exactly.
That's what I was hoping for. Some kind.
But I was there, like ready to buy the new M2/M1X Mac. I mean, I need one, and I'm gonna wait now. Like I've waited long enough.
Yeah, I would definitely wait until that one come out. It's gonna come out this year though, for sure.
It's gonna be this year. Yeah. And I'm okay with my old one for now. It's just like just not getting as much use because it's slowed down a lot. But,
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about one other thing here then too. Before we get to questions.
All right. Good technical. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, talk about a couple of things actually. Yeah. Look at Bootstrap 5 snippets. What are we at? 1750. Let me refresh. This was
750.
1749.
Yeah,
it went down one.
Uninstalled it.
Someone uninstalled it, I guess. Oh, that's funny. But yeah, this is as snippets for VS Code. Don't forget, this is out there. You can install this. You can search for Bootstrap 5 in the snippets marketplace.
And if you're coming to the self-paced course, I'm using these in the self-paced course, and so we're adding to these. So as I run through the self-paced course, when I need something quick in Bootstrap, I'm going to Andrew's helping us build this out, and I'm also setting new snippets to add to this. So like you can see, I've been asking a little bit of updates.
So yeah, he's worked on some stuff.
Yeah. So we even had some ratings and reviews. We'll just be honest. Let's go look at our ratings and reviews, Kevin. We have 6.
Can I
see what we got here?
Yeah.
Super quick setup.
We'll go over there.
Right.
We haven't looked at these before too, so these could have been terrible. Yeah, no, cool. Thank you. So if you do write a review, that'd be great.
So if you want to rate it, yeah, kind of cool.
Yeah, but only if it's 5 stars. If you don't want to give it 5 stars,
5 stars. Don't
forget ratings available.
Give us a 4 or a 2.
Oh, that's funny. So yeah, anyway, go install that. We're working on it still. We're still enhancing it, so there's plenty there, but we're working on some other new things for it too. So be another version here coming out soon. Yeah. So one extra thing to talk about, which I kind of stumbled upon this morning. And it was an article about HTTP 3.
Right.
And I was like, I know nothing about HTTP. I realized I know what it is, and I know nothing about any of this stuff really. I'm like, so my question to you this morning was, let me take that off there. Was, as a dev, do I care about HTTP? Do I have to do something in my app to do something with HTTP?
Potentially yes, but and potentially no. Depends on what you're doing. So like with HTTP 1 and 1.1, you use standard verbs like headers, get pushed, and all this kind of like the spec figured out how do I transfer information from one server to the other server, and like this interchange had to be in a common way. Hypertext Transfer Protocol 1.1 said, okay, we can do those in 1.1 as plain text. Okay, so that was being sent over the wire, whether you post a form, for example. How do I send that information when I post a form to the server to like send an email or like update my profile, those kind of things? That was sent in plain text. Okay, now we've also put a layer of encryption over that. And so that's called HTTPS. And then inside of that, we're at TLS. I forget what TLS version we're at, but like that encrypted that from point to point. Okay, but it's still under the wire. It was plain text. So when you're posting like images and big things, that becomes problematic because like you have to like use TCP underneath that, and it would make like multiple streams going out from server to server, and it gets kind of slow. So HTTP 2 comes out and they say, let's make that in a binary format. And I believe if you're doing that, sometimes you would have to like do something in your code and like use something like protocol buffers, I think. And correct me if I'm wrong. You want to like, become stupid, but you can. But I think you would have to actually do something under the covers to make it work with HTTP2. So you looked at adoption rates and you're like, hey, man, why is it 45%? And then I'm like,
yeah,
I think it's because you actually have to do something. Like, in other words, like you have to like make it work. So now what that did was reduce the latency when we're transferring or streaming or whatever we're doing between 2 endpoints. Yep. We put it as a binary, and then it caused less of these things to get created the way it was doing it before. And now there's still multiples of those. Okay.
Right.
So now HTTP3 comes out and they're like, okay, now we're going to use something called UDP instead of TCP. And that is going to even reduce the latency further. So this is about like making things more secure and faster in between the endpoints. Yeah. And what you'll see is the people that implement that, it makes sense for them to implement it because they want speed.
Right.
So this
sounds like it's for streaming.
Browser support, but yeah, like Netflix and Amazon and Google and all those guys. And if you're like a CDN and you're just shoving information out from your CDN to support websites, that's why you see Cloudflare and these guys, Fastly, and these guys implement this quickly because they're trying to do it faster. So that's kind of what it's about.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, and that makes sense now that you say that. That's going to be where you're right. It's getting pushed by like the streaming platforms. That's going to be who's really going to benefit from this, which accounts for a massive amount of the internet traffic. Yeah. It really does.
Yeah, but if you're on Squarespace, you just have to wait for them to do something. They would have to do it.
Right. It's not something you have. Right. It's not something you have to implement.
But if the coder, you may be asked to like send something in a binary format from your web server to somewhere else, and that's protocol buffers. And then there's some other stacks coming out from inside of .NET that allows you to do it as well. But under the themes, that's protocol buffers from Google. So that's the binary format, I believe, the binary framing.
Interesting.
When they say that, that's what they're talking about.
Okay, that's interesting. Yes, yeah. When I looked at it, I was like, HTTP when it first came out was like 89. HTTP 2 came out in like 2015. I was like, 2015? That's like 6 years ago, right? And I look at it and like less than half of websites use HTTP 2. I was like, why? Why? And now it explains it because they have to actually do something.
Yeah. Have to do something.
Interesting. So I wonder if HTTP 3 will also be that thing, which isn't ratified yet, by the way. It's not an official, it's not done yet, so it's not ready for prime time. It's not something you can actually implement. Or even browsers do support it, but I think it's still in the test phase. But I found it interesting, something to look at in the future.
So hopefully we geeked out for a second and someone learned something, and I didn't say something like horrendously wrong. So
I forgot about this too in the new Mac OS too. Yes, this universal control thing was one of the features that I thought was awesome. You can sit a Mac next to an iPad, and you can use the keyboard and the control surface from the Mac to basically drag your mouse over to the iPad like seamlessly. It just works. You just drag it over.
What about Apple TV and things like that too as well?
I don't think it works on Apple TV. The example they showed it on was an iMac, a MacBook, and an iPad.
Okay.
They did have though was like the AirPlay features they brought to the Mac as well. So that was cool. So you can AirPlay from your phone or from your other devices to your Mac screen, and obviously then to the you can use the sharing feature to throw your phone screen or your iPad screen to the TV through Apple TV, which is cool. Yeah,
I do that with my Samsung phone sometimes, but I have to have a Samsung television, which I do, and like it just happens to be, and I just like cast it over there, and it kind of works pretty good. Sometimes I'll share my phone at home and just show Kelly something,
Right.
So.
Okay, let's do some questions then. I think we talked about everything I wanted to talk about first. Let's do some questions. Again, cool. I haven't got these queued up, so I'm gonna have to go back through the chat. So I'll try and pick out as many as I can. Same rules apply. I'll go pick as many questions as I can. We'll get through as many as we can. If you want to guarantee we answer your question, super chat it, and that will guarantee that we'll push that one up next.
Okay.
So Mayo wants to know if easiest and fastest way to get into tech with a non-technical background.
So you're talking about coding, or what are you talking about? Like, so like if you're talking about coding, you're gonna have to learn to code. I don't know if there is an easy way to do it. I mean, I think there's a lot of effort into learning how to code. The fastest way is obviously, I think, going to a boot camp like Coder Foundry. But like, there could be other ways that you could do it. It just isn't necessarily the fastest. So here's what I want you to think about. What do you want to do? And then figure out what do you need to know to be able to do those kind of jobs. So when I talk about tech, that could be a lot of things to me. It could be network, it could be cybersecurity, it could be software development, it could be sales, it could be project management. There's a lot of ways to do it. So what I would think was the easiest. Now, I don't really say easiest. I don't even know if it's the fastest, but I
Yeah.
think pursuing things in the non-coding world may be a quicker route to break into a technical job, like a help desk support technician, working with hardware, getting A++ certified. Those kind of roles. I'm not saying those are the best roles, but if you're talking about coding, the fastest way is obviously going to a quality boot camp like Coder Foundry. Um, I'm not saying that's easy. I don't know if there's. I think coding's a little bit hard to do. It's a lifetime commitment, but you're investing in yourself, and I think it's worth it. You know, so I hope that helps. If you wants to clarify, we'll try to get back on here if you want to talk about what you're talking about.
Takia wants to know, what do you think about Django and its future?
Hmm. I don't know what I think about Django. I mean, I really don't. I haven't used it a whole lot. Here's what I think. I think, and this is me talking out of turn here, but I do think there
You
are.
can have an opinion. It's fine.
Yeah, I have an opinion about this. I do think there's several stacks out there to build websites. You got Django, you got Laravel, you've got React, you got Angular, and you got ASP.NET, C Sharp, AS Web API, RESTful service building. All of those things make up what we talk about building a website. The question is, if you don't know anything, and you're saying, I just want to pick one of these to work on, and I don't know anything, and I just want a job in tech, and I'm really not opinionated about it, I think Django is going to be down that list of most in-demand tech stacks for beginners, as far as like getting an actual job with it. And I think React would do you better service than Django. C Sharp, learning that would be definitely career enhancing. Angular would definitely be above those. So I put Django down there with Laravel and those other ones. Doesn't mean they're not used. It's just not as popular. This is what I would say to do. Pick one of the most popular in-demand stacks and then learn Django second. But hey, if you're in India and I'm wrong about India, or you're in China, or you're in South Korea, I don't know where you're living, but you're over there in the Southeast Asia and everyone's using Django over there, then hey,
And then learn Django. Yeah.
learn that. I mean, so I'm not religious about this at all. In other words, I just pick the ones I think are most in demand, and that's what I would learn. And that's why our boot camp's based on that. I will say that we did interview a guy that's coming to the boot camp, and he went to a Django boot camp here in the States, and it didn't work out for him. So now he's going to go back to another boot camp to ours to learn .NET. And that's just, he just couldn't find work as a Django developer. So I think that tells me what I need to know.
Right.
Could have been him, could have been his projects, could have been a lot of things, but like, it's just not as many jobs out there. So
Okay. Joseph Luigi Gay. He's dressed as Luigi there. I like it. He's learning Deno instead of Node. Joseph, you haven't been around here, have you? Because we've made too many Deno jokes. Sorry.
Yeah.
Instead of Node, the dev experience is better. And I still get a back-end TypeScript job. TypeScript is TypeScript, right?
TypeScript is TypeScript. You're correct. So it's the same. So those Deno stuff should be transferable into Node.js if that's what you're doing. And TypeScript is TypeScript. So once you know TypeScript, you can use it wherever you're using it.
The thing is, though, if you're applying for a job and all you know is Deno and you don't know Node, you've dwindled your pool a little bit.
I do think that Node's going to give you more opportunities. However, if you already know Node, you're already working as a dev, I can see someone learning Deno because it's the new hot thing.
Right.
But the new hot thing doesn't lend itself always to juniors right out the gate. So typically, if you're hiring for the new hot thing in Deno and you know there's not experience in there, you'll probably see ads like 3 to 5 years experience with Node, we're implementing Deno. Deno experience a plus or preferred. And you'll see that in the job notes, but they're just saying that, hey, we're we're switching away from Node, but we'll take experienced Node devs over. So I don't know. So like, but TypeScript is TypeScript, and that's correct. You will not go wrong by learning TypeScript for sure. All right, Joseph. Hope that helps, man.
Okay. One wants to know where to start. They watch a bunch of videos for C# already. Got the basics, but feel I need to take it to another level. I want to be a web dev. Help me. Let me just put in a little plug right here. Oh, hold on. Where'd that go?
We went out. Everybody went away.
I think we all, yeah, I don't know what happened there. Hold on. Just plug this real quick.
So, a self-paced course, learn.coderfoundry.com. We think we're going to have the best C# course in the country, but if you want to use someone else's C# course, you can. What you're going to have to do to take it to the next level is accelerate your learning by taking a course, learning from someone else. I think is the best way to do it. Maybe come to a full-time bootcamp at Coder Foundry. We're still accepting applications July 5th. But without selling you hard, what you need to do is you need to learn C#, okay, and like really go through something where you're actually building something. And then once you can build something, then add on to that or build another thing and keep building a portfolio with ASP.NET C# projects on it. So, and if you're looking after web dev, it's ASP.NET and C# is what you want to learn. So MVC, I think, is the best way to do it right now today.
Okay. Hey, I think it's Alex's birthday today.
Is it Alex's birthday?
I think so. Hold on. There we go. Alex. That's a special treat for your birthday. Right there.
Look at that. Happy birthday, Alex.
Happy birthday. What are you, 21, 22, something like that, I think?
Yeah. So, like, yeah.
That's great. Happy birthday.
Hey, you know what we can do for Alex's birthday? We can get all the people watching. How many people are watching right now?
I don't know. Hold on. Let me look. What are we at? 86.
86 people. Go sub TR's channel. Go sub it up.
That's it. That'd be a nice birthday gift, wouldn't it?
A little nice birthday. Give him 86 subs. See if we can go hit Tech Rally.
Most of these guys probably subscribed to him already. I'm sure.
Don't quit watching. Open it up in another browser. So, get sub him up.
Oh, that's funny. Well, happy birthday, Alex.
Yeah.
Heretic wants to know web dev versus mobile dev. I'm guessing in a selection of choosing one or the other.
Yeah, I think so, maybe. So, but here's what I would think. Web dev takes a different set of skills than mobile dev. Okay, they are different. And so I think when you look at web dev, you look at stacks that you can build there. You're going to look at Angular. You're looking at React. You're looking at ASP.NET, C#. Those are the big ones. Inside that, you need to know HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and you also need to know some kind of server backend language. As you've guessed, if you've been paying attention here for the last couple of minutes, you can do that with C# in the back end. You can do it with Java on the back end, and you also can use things like TypeScript inside of Node.js or Deno. There's multiple ways to do it. Inside of mobile dev, I'm a little more opinionated that I think you need to look at cross-platform mobile dev and not the Apple toolkit, because typically, if you're building a mobile dev site, you want it to run on both platforms. So that narrows your list down to 3, I think: React Native, Flutter, and you can look at what Microsoft's doing. It's called Xamarin, maybe renamed to Maui. I don't know what they're going to call it, but like, it doesn't matter what they call it. It's been around for a really long time. It's very robust and it's very stable. So those are the 3 kind of really good ways to build mobile dev. Now, what you have to ask yourself is what do I want to build? If all you want is a job in tech and coding, web dev will probably give you more opportunities even today, just because there's a sheer number of more jobs out there. But if you really, really dig mobile dev and that's where you want to be, then learn a cross-platform platform and then interview for those jobs like React Native, Flutter, or Xamarin. Hope that helps. Kind of cool.
Zhao is back. Look, it says it finally did the quiz, a 49 out of 50, and I saw your score, by the way. I can validate you did indeed get a 49 out of 50. I didn't say that the girlfriend had the 43. Remember, we made him go take it. We had a lot of people take the quiz last week, and a bunch of you guys scored pretty well. Because remember we were talking about only 12 people had scored 100, or 21 people had scored 100. I think we're still at 21. I don't think anybody scored 100
22 in
since
yesterday. We got our
was it?
22nd in
Oh,
yesterday.
was it? Okay, there you go.
We got
22.
100 in yesterday.
Okay, let's.
So
I'm gonna give that person a
still,
shout out. Hold on, let me see who that
yeah.
was because I can actually see.
According to Kelly, I didn't look it up. She told me, she said that someone
go.
got 100 in. Unless
Yeah,
she was
they
wrong.
did. No, they did. It was on. We had a lot of people take it, and it might have been one of you guys actually. Uaru Silva scored 100, 50 out of 50. This was
nice.
Yeah, Saturday. So we had a lot of people take the quiz over the weekend. I think as we talked about last week, man, a lot of people took the quiz over the weekend. Actually, might have been last Friday. So yeah, cool, very cool. So 22 now.
49 out of 50 is legit, man. That's pretty
49
good.
out of 50 is legit though. You're in a group of probably another. I think probably another 20 odd people have scored 49. I think it's something like that. It's not very many. Yeah. It's really not very many.
Not very many. That's good.
That's very cool. Yeah, I like that you can now walk proudly at home. You're like, all right, you'd be like, what'd you get? 43? Oh yeah, 49. Like, I mean, it's okay. I'm not bragging or anything, you know.
I mean, I got a 49. I'm not bragging. I just did, you know.
It just happened.
It's truth.
It just happened. Exactly. Antonis, thank you for the question. So should I learn C# as a first proper language? I know HTML, CSS.
Okay, Antonio, tell us where you're from.
I'm guessing they're missing JavaScript here, though.
Yeah, right? You're definitely missing JavaScript. So JavaScript should be your first language if you want to do, since you already went down the route of HTML, CSS, JavaScript's the next thing you learn, and then C#.
Yep.
So I think so. I just want to know where you're from, Antonio. Or Tony is. He used the word proper. I'm wondering if he's from the UK.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, not sure.
Yeah.
Man, it's weird to go
all
through
around the world today. So that's kind of
questions in this way. I apologize. It's taking me a little bit longer to pull these up. So, what do you think about the next Windows 11 for coders? What do you want to see? I guess anything you're looking for in the next Windows that you're kind of excited about?
No. I don't know. I'm not like, I don't think Windows 11 excites me that much. I mean, like, you know, I don't know.
Let's go to the next one. Jen said it hurts somewhere. There is an oversaturation of newbie coders. As one myself, I'm struggling to get my first dev job. Yet there's lots of jobs going around. We kind of see this a lot.
This is a lot. So, Jens, I don't know your current situation, and I don't know anything about what you're trying to do. Here's what I think you need as a newbie coder. Number one, a really good portfolio. If you don't have one of those, then you need to start working on that. I think proof of skill is your number one thing to overcome to getting an interview. And then once you get an interview, being able to explain what you did, talk about your code is the second thing that you can overcome. So if your portfolio projects aren't on the level, and you have to just look at it. I have no idea what your portfolio looks like. I'd be glad to look at it and just and give you some feedback. But if they don't look top notch on the UI side, you're going to get downgraded, and they're going to say, okay, they have no experience and it doesn't look good, so let's just not even call this person back for an interview. So once you can like get your portfolio looking great, and then you have some projects on there and make those look great, they also have to, I think, solve a business problem. And if they use a database and solve the security, and I think you should go after full stack. I mean, there are some HTML, CSS only jobs out there with just JavaScript. We call that front end. If that's the way you're going around, it absolutely has to look great, and you have to build a bunch of JavaScript front end type projects. And then if that's the role you're going after, then you need to look into a framework too, like React or Angular, if that's what you're gonna, if that's the job you're gonna pursue. If you're looking at full stack, you need to have some kind of C# using a database, implement security, those kind of things. So it depends on what you're trying to do and what job you're trying to hit. But there's not an oversaturation of newbie coders or coders in general. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a lot of jobs going around.
Right. We just know that it's difficult to break in. You have to be able to prove that you can do the job. That's
Yes.
the thing. That's what they're really looking
Yeah.
for. Looking for you to prove that you can do the job, and they're not gonna take a gamble if you can't even go that far. Right? If you can't even
Right.
prove that you can put a portfolio together, they're not just gonna gamble on your word to say like, yeah, I can. I'm a developer.
I got this.
Okay, yeah, I got this. Yeah, exactly. They're not gonna go with that. You have to be able to
Yeah. Hold my
prove it, and
beer.
if
Yeah.
you can prove it, that's how you can overcome
That's how
that
you overcome a lot of things.
that thing there.
Hmm.
Okay. On the other end of this, Quicks wants to know, is a master's degree, IT related, useful in the job market, in your opinion?
It helps. Yeah, it helps. It's not going to be everything, but it helps for sure.
Yeah, it's going to help with you getting that through that initial, like, your foot in the door more than anything.
Yeah.
That's where it helps. Does it help that do you know more? Potentially not.
Yeah.
I mean, but some companies will insist on you having that for some strange reason these days. But, it's becoming less and less common, but, still out there. Althea, good to see you again. Althea won one of our coding subscriptions. So that's awesome. Do you think I will be able to get a job by October, November the latest, after the self-paced bootcamp is released? So how long does that give you?
Well,
Yeah.
now you're trying to back us into a date, is what you're trying to do.
I mean, no. If it's summer, which it is.
Yeah.
Let's say that it's 3 months, right? Can you do the self-paced bootcamp in 3 months? Let's say that.
Yeah, so it's possible. You'd have to work a lot at it. I don't think we understand how big it is. Like, there's a lot to it. So, like, it's possible. Yeah. So, but it depends on how much time you put in it, and then how successful you are in like retaining and learning the material. So I can't answer that, but like, it's possible to do it in 3 months. So
There's going to be a lot of work.
it's going to be a lot of work if you're committed to the work, and you can build the projects and talk about them. I think you can probably do it. It may take you a little bit longer when it's released than 3 months. It may take you 4 months.
Right. Let me see. Oh, we actually kind of just talked about this, but it's the same kind of thing. Just it's the same question, different format, really. How long will it take? 4 hours a day. So we're saying that it's like it's the equivalent of for number one, we don't really know because the format is different than we would normally deliver it in.
Yeah.
When we deliver this content in the virtual format, we're talking about 600 hours, something like that, right?
Yeah.
Of coding. So that gives you a ballpark.
Yep. So 4 hours a day probably take you 3 to 6 months to do it, we think.
Yep.
But if you just fly through it, it's possible too. So I think there's going to be a lot more practice in it where you're like trying to like understand the concepts. We give you the lecture, we give you things to do, and then we say, hey, go do this without our help. And then you go attempt to do that. And that could easily take up a Saturday or Sunday where you're trying to build out certain things. And so the main thing is commit to learning it, and then and commit to like doing the practice that we ask. So
here's another youngster coming to the channel. Castro is 33. Like, man, 33, old Castro.
Nope. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's too late for you, man.
That's it. You're
No,
done. 33. Like, that's
30,
it's
30.
over. It is over.
So I don't know where this mentality comes from. I don't know what it is in society that thinks that
I don't know.
28 or 33 is done. I mean, like, I don't know why you think that. Like,
I think it's because, like,
I mean,
fundamentally, we go to generally, like, in most places around, you go to college at 18, right? And it's like, when you're 20, 22, your career is kind of set. And college has kind of, like, pushed us towards that mindset that you choose at that age, right? You choose at 18 to 20 where you want to be, and that's it. You then go off and you do that. 22, 24 rolls around, and you're doing that career. It's just not the case for, I would say, most people.
Nah, man, we're always trying to like reinvent ourselves, maybe do something different, do something new, and learn something new. I mean, like 33. I mean, like let's say that you're thinking that if I hire the person at 33, I'm not going to get much value out of them. So like you go to this job, do you
Right.
think you're going to work there for till you're 65, like for
Right.
32
Right.
years,
Yeah.
35 years? I mean, like,
Especially as a developer,
no,
that's just definitely
no,
not the
you're
norm.
not. You're
Definitely
going to be
not.
there 1 to 2 years, 5 years, maybe 7 years, but like 10 years, you'd be only be 43. I mean, like, so like it's
Right.
like, I don't think it's a problem at all.
No, I think it's very
Just start
common.
learning now. You're not getting any younger, that's for sure. So like start now. I mean, don't wait. I think if you think you can do it, start learning it. Keep going. You can do it. I don't think it's too old at all. In
Yep.
fact, I think 33 is relatively young.
Oh, I would definitely say it's young. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We know it's possible in your 40s.
Yeah.
Obviously, it gets more difficult the older you get, but we've seen it up to like 60, right? We've definitely seen
Yeah.
it there. It's obviously
Yeah.
a more of a rare thing for people to do it, but
Yeah.
definitely in your 30s. That's like, I think 30s is the prime time to change. I switched just kind of careers in my 30s. I went back to
Yeah.
school and got a different degree.
Yeah.
And like I switched my careers from international logistics into a creative field. Like, it was easy. Like, really.
Yeah. You can do it.
Definitely go for it. Let's see. DrewMac wants to know, the self-paced course be dealing with any desktop or mobile development or all web dev?
It's all web dev at this point. We will be covering mobile later in the year. So if you're on the platform, you'll just get those kind of things for free. We don't have any distinct plans for desktop at this point, but that may change with .NET 6 because a lot of that area is changing. And so that would probably be a next year thing if we do approach desktop development, see how they're going to approach it with that.
Yeah, something cool happens there. Maybe we're pushing it out. Like, we can
Something cool is
have an app.
happening. We just got to like understand kind of like what we think is going to be the best thing to know at that point.
Yeah, it'd be cool
But
if we could
definitely,
create an app that pushes out to like Windows and Mac OS and the iPad, and like that'd
yeah,
be cool.
that's
Like,
kind
be
of the point of
interesting.
Maui. So like,
Yeah,
that's kind of how we'll cover it with Maui, and be pushing things to Mac OS, Windows, maybe mobile, web, and do something around that area. So
there you go. Let me see. Interesting question. So Ario wants to know, do you have an opinion for the best language for programming fundamental? Example, Java for OOP type language, Python for OOP dynamic language, or other suggestion? Is this for the
I
academic
do have an
pursuit?
opinion, but like here's before I say it. Obviously C# for OOP type languages. So like, but here's I think one mistake I see people making all the time is they explore learning how to code by just learning how to code without really learning how to build anything. In other words, like, so it ends up being a lot of
Yeah.
like console
Yeah.
applications,
Yeah. It's like an academic
non-visual
pursuit that never
applications.
becomes concrete.
Yeah, and so you're learning about like, okay, OOP, protected, private, public, all those kind of OOP concepts, overrides, and but you never really build anything. And so what I think you need to do is say, what do I want to build? And then once I figure out what I want to build, then what's the most popular way people are building that today? Learn that. We think if you pick web development, that ASP.NET is on the forefront of web development for a lot of reasons, but C#, HTML, CSS, JavaScript is the stack you want to learn. If you want to build desktop, we still think C# desktop is probably the best desktop language out there. If you want to learn mobile, then that gets a little bit more divided. So you want to look at React, you want to look at Flutter, you want to look at other things. In the website, yeah, there's Angular, there's React, and on the website as well. So like, pick what you want to build, then kind of figure out the stack. So learning console app development, and I see this in college a lot, where you learn about OOP principles and you're just building on the console and you never really make the app do anything. It makes it really hard to translate that into when someone says, hey man, build me a really cool website or build me a really cool mobile experience. And so ultimately that's what they're going to ask you to do. So just go ahead and start learning how to do that. And then you'll learn OOP if you're using C# or Java to do that. If you're going to use Python, I think Python's mainly in the data science realm, so that's where you should be using it at. So hope that helps.
There you go. So Onur's question says, what's the future of decentralized, I guess it's decentralized web? For example, today's topic, Fastly CDN network collapsing. Yeah, I woke up this morning and my Spotify wasn't working correctly. I couldn't share something in it because, Fastly was down.
So Fastly was down. So, in the realm of like things, I'm sure they had a very busy day and a lot of stressful time.
Yeah,
Whatever happened,
they did.
we don't know. But I mean, like, let's say that Fastly went down because of an electrical grid failure in where they're at. I mean, should we still decentralize web? Yeah, we still should. I mean, like, we still need CDNs and those kind of things. So I don't think that's a problem. I mean, we definitely want to go back to the world where you had to host everything yourself and bring your own bandwidth in. That's kind of crazy. So I still say cloud with Azure and AWS is the way we're going. And then you can use CDNs to help you to deliver streaming network content and all those kind of things to make it fast. So I don't think Fastly is a blip on the radar. It makes news today, but like next week, will anyone care that they were down for a couple hours?
Yeah, morning? I mean, it was up again pretty quick. I did see their update thing is like, it found the problem, fixed it. I'm like, okay. I don't know. It didn't say what it was. So speaking of though, I don't think it was a hack. I don't think. They haven't said it was yet. But did you see this, by the way? We haven't talked about this, but did you see that they recovered that money that they paid?
Yeah,
for that other hack?
So like the FBI went in and stole some Bitcoins from the guys that got the Bitcoins from our Colonial Pipeline.
Craziness.
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, coding after 30. Am I too old for asking when I'm too old to know if I'm too old to learn to code?
I don't know. Paul, change your channel name. Coding after 40. Just saying.
Coding after 40. No, I think I saw that where the FBI went in, and then so I saw a lot of people online debating this fact. They're like, "How can the FBI track Bitcoin?" I'm like, "Bitcoin's a public ledger, man. I mean, like, it's not about if you know where that thing's going, then it's absolutely where those Bitcoins are at." And so, what did they do? It looks like somehow they hacked the guys' wallets and they took some money back from them.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, if I was the FBI, I would have stolen all their Bitcoins. I'd have taken I wouldn't try to get even. I would have took them all that I could get, and I would keep taking them from them.
Yeah.
So, like you have me some
kind of crazy.
Kind of crazy. Interest.
Maybe this was part of the deal that they knew all along. They were just like reassured that like, no, pay it. It's fine. We'll get it back. I don't know. I don't know. Because we talked about it the day that happened. We're like, man, they paid that ransom? That's nuts. Why'd they do that?
They can get it all back. They got 65 Bitcoins. They paid 75. And then in between that 75, there was a drop. And so they got back, I think it was like 2.3 million. They paid at the time 5 million because Bitcoin was higher at the time, So,
okay.
What do you do?
One of my friends was telling me about this at the weekend. But did you know the first ever Bitcoin transaction? You heard about this story? The first ever time that somebody actually purchased something with Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
They purchased a pizza, actually a couple pizzas.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. How much that
from Papa John's for 10,000 Bitcoin. It ends up being worth. I mean, it ends up worth being like I think it's like a 2-point-something billion pizza.
Yeah, I wish I had 10,000 Bitcoins.
How nuts is that? I mean, that's the craziest story. I was like, that's just the funniest thing. Obviously, through time, you'll find stories online where it's like, at one point, it's like, it's an $80 million pizza. It's a $45 million pizza. Now it's into like the billions of dollars. It's nuts. It's a $1 billion pizza. Like, craziness.
That guy's like,
oh, he's sad.
Dang it.
He's very sad. That pizza better have tasted good.
Even crazier than that, man. He went to Papa John. He didn't even go to like John's on Bleecker Street. I mean, like he didn't get the best pizza in the world.
He got crappy pizza for $1 billion. I mean that.
Yeah, you should have went to John's on Bleeckers or
Capizzi.
Yeah.
I'm
assuming we went to.
Yeah, Capizzi.
Capizzi. Yeah.
I'm assuming he's not in New York, so he probably can't get good pizza. So it's just how it is.
Papa John's. Come on, man.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
If they wanted to sponsor us, we would love it though. But it's okay.
I'll happily eat Papa John's pizza on the stream if Papa John's wants to give us some money to eat the pizza on the stream.
Yeah.
Okay.
Papa John's is good.
We love Papa John's. My Bubblegum Shrimp, what type of dev do you enjoy outside web?
Hmm.
You did
I
a
don't
little
know if I.
game dev, right? I mean, you did a little
Yeah, I've
AR,
done a little
VR
bit with
stuff.
that. I don't know if I enjoyed it, I would do a lot more. I mean, I've done it. I've played with that kind of stuff. I've played with the HoloLens, but I think my primary is just building web stuff right now. That's primarily what I'm doing. So if I got on a good game project, I probably like it a lot more, but I just haven't had time to do it.
Right,
So
right.
Bubba Gump Shrimp, I like that.
Let's see. Mohit says, how do I market my skills on places like LinkedIn with things like certifications and projects?
There's
Kind of hit
a
it.
we could talk about that, but there's a LinkedIn area in your profile where you can put links to your portfolio in there. That's step one. Step two is I think everyone should write articles about technical things and use that as a post. I think that'd be kind of cool. All
Yep.
right.
Hey, Nightwalker, we will get to your question here in a second.
All right. Thanks, Knight. Man, thank you. Thanks a lot. Look at Han Solo looking good right there, man.
Maybe we need to
We need to
change it
bring
for
up the
the.
actual
We
Solo
need to
actor and
change
put
it
him on
for the.
there,
Yeah,
don't
yeah. We need to change. That'd be controversial, wouldn't it?
we?
That's funny.
So I think you
Maybe
can
I'll do
put
that.
places for your projects right there in the links and up on LinkedIn. And then you need to write posts about articles, and then maybe even posts about your projects. You know, break down maybe a feature in your project and write a post about that, and then link back to that project. And so that's how you use LinkedIn to do that. And then follow people on LinkedIn that could hire you. And then you start to get in their feed and those kind of stuff and interact with them on their posts and their stuff and like it and make positive comments and always be positive on LinkedIn. Don't be negative. Don't get into flame wars over politics and taxes and
Yeah,
things
it's
like that.
it's
I
not
mean, like,
it's not Facebook. It's not Twitter. Yeah, everything needs to be
yeah,
down the center professional.
I think so. I think that's just how you should approach it.
Yep.
So I hope that helps.
Yep.
All right,
So
Night Walker,
Nightwalker.
thank you for the super chat. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Nightwalker is learning JS now. What should I do in order to succeed with a remote web development income?
So you want to work as a remote dev? It sounds like that.
And I'm guessing that
So Night,
means maybe they're looking at freelance. Maybe I'm not sure. Is that implied by that
yeah,
or not?
freelancing, something like that. So you're going to have to start small and work your way up. So you're going to look at some of the sites out there that where you can put a profile out there and bid on projects. I think is one way you can do it. You can also apply to jobs that are doing remote. There's a bunch of software sites out there that remote jobs only. I think is the name of it, where you can go look at the jobs that are remote only, and you can apply to get work for the company remote. So I think there's a couple of ways: freelancing and then work for somebody remotely. So learn how to build websites and then put your skills out there. You'll need a good portfolio to market yourself, though. That's going to be even more important if you're just on remote only.
Yeah, and especially if you're going to do freelance too. Obviously, you need a proper sales site. You need to show people that you
Yeah,
can actually do the
yeah,
job. It's almost like you
yep.
need the experience before you can get the experience. I know that seems like counterintuitive, but that's where you've got to kind of build your own projects to showcase what you can
Yeah, you
actually do.
build your
That's
own
where that
projects
portfolio
to
comes
have
up.
proof of work, and then you put that on a portfolio, and then you're shopping that portfolio if you're looking at the freelancing sites, you know, Odesk or whatever you're using, and then you can bid on projects and show that to win projects over. So, and then make sure that you're also to be successful is make sure you have ways for people to contact you. Um,
Yeah.
and remotely. So I would think that's, I'm using Teams to be like almost like my phone now, like where I use it and I can contact anyone regardless if they're international, national, long distance, whatever. But like if I think communication tools have that all in order set up, where that be a simple cell phone, or if you don't want to give out your cell phone number, maybe like a Teams or Zoom account or something like that, where they can hit you up pretty easily, you know.
There you go.
Maybe even Slack or something like that would help too.
This is interesting. Paul wants to know, can you describe what a junior dev should expect to do at their first job? My experience was not typical, more a nightmare. So when I tell people my story, they freak out. I'm not sure there is a typical. Is there a typical?
Mm-mm.
We've seen
Depends
all
on the
kinds of
company.
things, haven't we? All
So we
kinds of
see
things.
companies trying to hire juniors as their first and only dev, and expect them to
Yep.
build their
Seen that.
software product. I talked to a company yesterday that's what they wanted. And like,
Yep. Because they don't want to pay somebody to make it, but they think that a junior can do the whole thing. So that's going that route. That's not going to work out very well.
So, but you should take it anyway and just try to learn and do the best job you can do, and be able to, but like, I don't know. I mean, it's all about experience. Get experience and take that first job. If it's a nightmare, get another one. So it doesn't have to be, it's not life ending if it doesn't work out. You just get another one.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think it depends on the company, depends on the size of the company for sure. You may be doing one tiny little piece. You may not be writing anything new. Or you may be, like you said, the only dev there. And anything and everything in between.
Right. I always tell this story as a consultant. I remember when a consultant was working on a job and like ended up wiring the building. Like, what? I didn't sign up for this, but like, none of the computers were networked. It's crazy. Right.
So all of a sudden you're the on-site tech person too.
Yeah. And then I think it was like 3 months later, he called me and says, "Hey, my router's down, my modem's down." Dude, I'm not AT&T, man. I mean, like,
that's hilarious. There is this common misconception around it's like one of those things where it's like you're the tech guy. That includes everything. Right. Powering the building, programming everything. Like it's everything. It's like hardware support, software support. Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a common thing. And it may be right because you may have the aptitude to fix those things. It doesn't mean it's your job, but you probably can. It doesn't mean you signed up to do that. I think that's a common thing.
Yeah. So.
Okay. We've got time for a couple more. I know there's a lot more here, but
all right.
I didn't get to queue these up, so I'm kind of
super chat us right away if you want to get in. We're getting ready. We'll get off here in a few minutes. So yeah.
Let's see. Yash wants to know, I'm better when I work with one programming language. Sometimes I have to jump between multiple. Hard for me to adapt quickly. Any suggestions?
Not really. I just think you just get used to it. Now, I think I have, in my career, worked on a project that had VB and C# in the same project, and sometimes you'll just want to pull your hair out just because they're different, like the end if. So as soon as you type in end if and you're typing it in the C# program, you just want to slam your head against the monitor. It's just the way it is. You just have to you'll learn to adapt to it, and just practice makes perfect. And I don't know how to hard adapt quickly. But in web dev, that's very common. You were going from HTML, CSS to JavaScript to some kind of backend language like C# or maybe even SQL, right? And Link. I mean, so there's a lot of times where you are jumping in between languages a lot. So hope that helps, Yash.
Here's something to talk about real quick. So, Liam, not really a question, but it is an interesting point. So Liam said, I had a recruiter grill me why I didn't jump right into the workforce after college, which was 6 years ago. So I don't know if you're saying you haven't done anything for 6 years, but we do get this kind of question come up sometimes. We have and it's either gaps in employment or like changes of employment. Like let's say that you were a web dev 10 years ago and then you moved and you've done customer service for 10 years. Now you're trying to get back into it again. Or maybe you had kids and you were an at-home parent for the time. And it is something you have to address. It is because an employer's gonna see it and they're gonna ask. Just because your recruiter's only asking what your employer's gonna ask. They want to know what you've done for 6 years. And if the answer is just play video games, you need to think of a better answer.
Yeah, and so what you do is I don't know what your answer is, Liam. With this, you got to answer.
But you have to have one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you got to come up with a good answer. But here's the way you need to transition into. That was 6 years ago. This is what I'm doing today. This is the things that I can do today. This is what I can offer the company today. And while 6 years ago, I didn't jump in the workforce because, I had a midlife crisis or walked around the Appalachian Trail or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Now what I'm doing now is this is what I'm doing now. And this is something I'm committed to, something I'm excited about, and something I want to add value to the company. So I think that's how you transition quickly away from that.
Yep, that's how you overcome that objection, right? Because that's what you're trying to do there. You're trying to say, actually, forget about that. Here's my portfolio. And here's what I can actually.
What I'm making.
Exactly. Here's what I made this week. Forget about what I've been doing for the last 6 years because it doesn't really matter. But you will have to have an answer for it because inevitably they will ask. So just make sure that your answer is a good one. Yeah, if the answer's nothing, you need to come up with something better.
Come up with something, man.
I'm not saying lie, because definitely don't do that either. But you do need an answer.
Yep.
Let's see. I'm going to go to something. One more thing, more current here.
We'll get one for the road here.
Did I see? I saw one thing earlier, but again, I can't view these up. Not that one.
Yeah, that Q thing's killing us, isn't it?
I know. I do need to fix it, and I think it's again. I don't know if it's a problem with the app or what it is.
Yep.
Oh, here you go. I think you maybe know about this. Pusha wants to know. Jumped in late. Have you seen any front-end templates for dashboards? Don't we use a front-end
100%.
template?
I've seen a bunch of them.
Yeah, don't we use those in the bug tracker
all
project?
the time? Admin LTE is one we use a lot. So admin LTE is a Bootstrap template that we use quite a bit. So I think you can probably even Google search admin LTE if you want to Google it for him real quick. And we'll just show. There's a bunch of them out there that are built out for dashboards, and typically they're gonna have plugins in them. So you're gonna have to learn about. There you go. There you go.
Okay. Oh, I've seen this one a lot. This is okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we can go to live preview.
They have paid ones too. Okay.
Yeah. There you go. It's got everything you need. Now you're gonna have to learn how to do charting. So they're using chart plugins. So there's some more things that you got to do. But it's got forms. It's got a lot of stuff in there.
Oh wow! Yeah, this is cool.
And
you just wire up your back end to this stuff, right? This is
and so I'm not saying it's like ready to go right out of the box out of that thing, but like it gives you the UI, and then you've got to wire up the data in the back end.
Right.
So there's a lot to admin LTE.
Wow. Yeah, these are kind of cool.
Yeah. So I think it's free, isn't it?
I don't know. I think this one might be. It's because the demo was.
Look at the footer and go to the bottom there and just see at the footer. Yeah,
right there.
Download. Yeah, you can just download it.
Yeah, I guess you can.
And then they also have some premiums that you can buy.
But again, not bad. So, $69 isn't bad.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
Look at that recent article down there. 20 admin panel templates. 2021. There you go.
Look at that.
Look
there you go. I'll tell you what. I will stick this in chat too, just so you don't have to go find it. There you go. You see me stick it in chat. Where are we here? Here we go. Yeah, cool. Oh, look at this. So, I mean, there's a bunch in here.
Yeah, there's a bunch. Some are paid. Most will be paid. But like admin LTE is definitely free.
Elite admin. Just sounds good, right?
And you got to look at the frameworks they're using. So if you're not using Vue, don't download a Vue template. If you're using Bootstrap only, then make sure you get a Bootstrap template. So just look at what's built on them and see kind of if that matches up with the stack you're using. Otherwise, you end up doing a lot more work than you need to. Just find a different template and make life a lot easier. But admin LTE is Bootstrap, so it's pretty vanilla as far as that goes. So you should be able to use it on almost any project.
Here's a personal question for you. Ego wants to know, do people call you Bobby? Or in some official cases, they call you Robert?
That's a funny story, actually.
Oh, is it? I don't know this. I don't know this story. Go on, then.
You don't know this story.
I don't know this story.
So I am a junior. My dad is Bobby Davis Sr., and people ask me all the time, do you go by Robert? I'm like, no, that's my uncle's name. And my parents grew up in West Virginia. They had 8 kids. And the neighbor, my dad was the youngest, named the kid. The 8th kid, I guess Grandma Davis and those ran out of names. And the neighbor named the kid. Well, they already had a kid named Robert. And she just liked the name Bobby, so they named him Bobby. So he had a brother named Robert. And so Bobby is my first and only name. It's not a nickname.
It's not a short name.
It's who I am. So it's kind of
go.
crazy. So like when you have 8 kids in West Virginia, you just let the neighbor name them, and you just get what you get. You
let the neighbor name them.
Good, bad, or indifferent, man. Like, so
it is
I have
what
an Uncle
it is.
Robert. My dad's name is Bobby, and that's his real name. So it's not Robert.
That's awesome. You're like, it doesn't matter. What are we calling him? Joe next door. You decide. What do you want to call him? Like, we're going with it. That's funny.
That's it. So that's the story. So it's just Bobby.
So definitely not a Robert. I like it. Okay. Let's wrap up. We'll be back on Thursday. Do another one of these.
We'll be back on Thursday. And may release a video this week. I'm working on one. So like we may release a pre-recorded video with some little tutorial. So I'm working on that.
Yeah.
So hopefully that'll come out this week.
Cool stuff.
All right. We'll see you guys on Thursday. Good luck. Keep coding. Hope you enjoyed it. Like the video. Give us a thumbs up. We got a couple of likes, not many. Just give us some likes.
What do we got? We got 97 people, 51 likes. Please give us a thumbs up. It helps.
Smash that like button.
Super appreciate it.
So and we'll see you on Thursday. Good luck, guys. See you.
Catch you later.